my sleep deprived state. Almost can't get to bed until after 10 on the nights we play. Okay, we're back to the split squat or skater squat, rowing, etc. But we got some new stuff in here. Ooh, the Romanian rhythm squats we've never done before, and we did that 21s method, which we touched on. So it'll be a little different. So let's get loose. Let's go ahead and start lower body today again. So working with the ankles, we're going to focus for the month. We're getting some ankle circles in here. Ideally on these, you're not rotating the thigh at all. We can fake some motion by rotating the thigh. Right? This is a great simple one to do. Definitely if you have any foot or ankle issues, getting a lot of circles in your head and blood flowing down there, not a bad idea. We'll go knee circles, so feet together, knees together, we're circling. Few each direction. And then keeping the feet together, we'll do hip circles. And these, of course, feel a little differently with feet this close together. It becomes more of a low spine mobilization. Excellent. And then we're going to sweep our hip car. And for our upper spine, we'll do something a little different. So we're just slowly rotate. And each time you go around, we'll try a little bit more movement. I like to kind of reach and grab and pull. But think of being nice and tall. Trying to keep the hips tucked in a little bit here, so not arching through the low back. Okay. We'll get in some side bends. Or sliding my hand down toward or past my knee. Taking the overhead component out of this one. And then we'll work our standard shoulder circles, but for fun, let's start at the bottom. And up instead of top down. Same exact movement. Just started on the other end. This orange glow. I have an orange inside. I was like, where is that orange glow coming from when I do my circles? Thought it was reflection, some kind of light, but I was like, what? I know it was over there other than the time clock, and it's not really on. And we'll finish with the shoulder blades. Nice big circles. And we'll come down to a kneeling position. So for this one, if you happen to have a handy weight, it could be useful. Don't have to. We're going to stretch the calf in that bent knee position. So this would be where we would come down to kneeling. And I'm lining my knee up with the middle of the toe, and I'm trying to get a stretch here by leaning over. So I can totally do it here, just with my own force pushing down. Or if I do have a dumbbell or a kettlebell, I can park that up on the soft tissues of my knee, and this adds to the stretch a little bit. So I'll sit here and work this. that calf loosened up. Kind of move the knee in and out a little bit, find out which angles might be the tightest there. Work on getting a little release. We could call this stretch the Nicole stretch, because this is your pistol unlocking thing, right?
Exactly. I feel it all in the back of my leg just as much as in the front.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of deeper, right? Just above the Achilles, primarily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that deep soleus muscle. Okay, if you go ahead and switch sides. Yeah, I like this one. I find for me the 36-pound kettlebell is just about right. It's heavy enough to do a good stretch, but it's also not, it's not excessive. Really isolates it into that bottom portion. And kind of working that knee left to right. And now we've got that done, so you can set your weight just to the side, and then we'll do a lizard lunge stretch for each side. So I'm getting into this. We'll go back to the first side now. I've got my back leg is way back behind me, quite a ways, and then I'm able to bring my elbow down toward my ankle bone. Stretch that groin. Kind of look around for which area, which region is tighter. Then I can plant my hands and I can let the foot roll onto the outside blade edge and let the knee fall out a bit. Just gonna stretch a little different line here. So bring that out. Bring it back in. We'll bring the elbow down to instep again. Then we'll pull the toes of the back foot under and almost lock that back leg out. We're just holding here. Hands are still taking a fair amount of weight. 3, 2, 1. Lower the back knee. We'll switch around to the other side. Go down toward ankle bone. And we'll let that knee and foot fall out a couple reps. And back in, elbow down. Plant the hands, lock that back leg out with the toes pulled under. Strong glute squeeze. 3, 2, 1. And the last one we'll do here is a little stretch to open up some internal rotation. So if I'm kneeling, like in a just a all fours position, I'm going to take my left leg, knee, and I'm going to bring it crosswise behind me. So it comes in behind the foot of the right. And then I'm basically letting my right hip fall out into this kind of folded knee stretch for that right hip. So hands are down, taking some of the weight. I'm trying to keep my right shin perpendicular or parallel, to my torso, and then letting that right hip fall out. I can reach my straight leg a little further back as I settle in a little deeper. This draws your right thigh kind of across your torso. Three, 2, 1. Kind of really stretches the outside of that glute and hip. So we'll come back to the starting position. Now we're going to take the right foot, cross it behind the left. So right knee is by the left heel. The left hip drop out to the side. Again, reaching back, that free foot a little longer. Three, 2, 1. All right. Stand up. Should clear the hips out a little bit. Okay. What do we have today? So we have the little superset of either a weighted split squat, which could be barbell on the back, or it could be heavy dumbbells in the hand, kettlebells, or you can choose to do skater squat. I would stick whichever version of those you've been doing to this point, and that'll be paired with that one arm elbow out row, which is going to be what you're posted up here on your bench or chair, and the arm comes straight out at that 90 degrees. The elbow should point straight to the side. Oh geez, that's a heavy weight for that. And again, that's not a particularly strong position or movement, so the weight will be somewhat limited. And both those exercises we're going to do for what are called 21s, which is a classic old technique from the old days of strength training, bodybuilding. Essentially, it's 21 reps, but it's partials. So you're going to do the first 7 in the hardest part, which I'll talk about. Then you'll do the next 7 in the easiest part, and then the last 7 you'll do full range. So if I was talking about this row, the hardest here is going to be the top. So what I'm going to do is I'll start at 7 reps are just the top half. So I do 1, 2, 3, 7, and then I would go down and do the lowest half, which is a little easier. I would do 7 of them here, and then I would go right into 7 of the normal full range movements. But the skater squat, obviously, is going to be pretty difficult. The split squat, you're going to do the bottom half of the movement for 7 reps. Then you'll do the easier top portion of the movement for 7 reps, and then you've got to do the entire movement for 7 reps. So this may require scaling back to an easier variation than what you might typically do. Are you pretty clear on how that one works?
Yeah. Sounds like maybe skater squats, you don't use any weight.
I wouldn't, yeah. Yeah, so like split squats or skater squat, I'll just demo the split squats. I don't really want that. Right, I would be doing 1, 2, 7, and then I would do 1, 2, 7, and then I've got to do 1, 2, 7, the full.
And is one set of 21 one round?
Yeah, yeah, you certainly don't have to do that more than.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll do that on each leg with the split squat or skaters. Then it's fairly fatigued, so I would suggest resting between legs a bit too, unless you're really feeling bulletproof today, and then you might pay the price later on if you rush it.
Yeah.
Then you'll rest, and then of course the elbow out row, same thing. Weaker arm, weaker leg first on these for sure, because something longer like this will show up. Now it isn't quite the same as doing 21 full reps. If that was just 3 sets of 21 done the normal way, that would be harder, right? Because in a way you're doing half the reps and then half the reps again. So the first 14 are partials, so it's probably closer to behaving like maybe a 15 rep set if you were doing them all normally. And then on those elbow out rows, just make sure that the elbow is coming straight out to the side. What you really want to feel is the shoulder blades retracting together to drive the movement. And the movement should really stop not only at 90 degrees, but this particular one, we're really not trying to drive the elbow behind the body. You're just kind of coming into a nice line. So if you're looking at, if I was on the bench and you're looking at me from the side, I'll look like that. Okay, so again, some warm-ups. And this one, certainly you can start and build your way up in difficulty through the 3 sets. And these 21s show up in the B series in 1, but not 2 of the movements. Well, you guys warm up. I'm going to set a bar up here in the rack so I can demonstrate this thing in part B. Ooh, and the heater's working, yay.
On the elbows out row,
Mhm.
half of it is like so the full row is to like 90 degrees, right? So half is just the 45 at the bottom.
Yeah, so if you're looking at me and I'm on the bench here, the first 7 are just basically these little retractions at the top.
At the top. Oh, okay.
Just down here at the more stretched position, basically retracting the shoulder blade, and then then you're into your full
Okay.
7 like that.
Okay. I am really curious to see if anyone does skater squats because I don't think I can even do one of the like bottom range. I can't do that. So.
Yeah, I'm curious. Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I could do it. It would suck.
I'm struggling doing it with the split squat over here.
I probably can only do that right now because I had actually been diligently training my weighted skater squats is like my primary lower body movement. Figured that carried over to probably the best of anything to running fast.
I guess maybe on my strong leg, but yeah, it wasn't going to happen on my weaker side.
Yeah, I wasn't going to try it on my other leg either. Honestly, I kind of have a bit of a strained muscle somewhere deep in the glute from last night's game, and it's like I don't think I'm going to do a single skip on that side right now.
Should we go ahead and start?
Yeah, if you're at your work weight and ready to roll, then yeah, let's definitely hit it up.
Okay.
Nice, guys. That's it. These will make more sense in the later rounds, or not sense, I guess, but they'll click a little more. Gets you a bit winded as well, all right?
Yeah.
rows will be a cakewalk compared to this. These little sets will kind of prep everyone for the next 2 weeks protocol. So we started with normal reps. We worked 1.25s. Now we're at 21s. Next week we go back to just straight normal sets or normal rep styles, but we do each exercise individually, and the exercise will rotate to different things, and sets with very short rest. So lots of metabolic work in the muscle. The other good news of this is you can, there's no particular tempo, so you can make the reps and the partial reps fairly rapid if you kind of get in a groove. I've been, like I said, we're working through this new speed training system, and there's the strength work in there. There's not a lot, but there's some techniques I haven't played around with, oscillating reps, which are pretty interesting. They're a little bit like these partials we're doing here, but you basically get in the range you want to train, and then you just lift yourself a couple inches, and then you basically drop, and you just catch yourself, drop and catch, drop and catch. Instead of counting reps, you just do it for time, a certain amount of time. It's definitely kind of interesting. That's light starting to, a little bit of light.
Okay.
Ooh.
Whew.
The third one.
Yeah. That was a big challenge just with the 50 pounds.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely not a heavy weighted movement. Not a heavy weighted movement. Oh. What about the rows?
I increased my weight this time. I was using 10s the first time we did it, and this time I got up to 15.
Oh, nice. Excellent, excellent.
I'm warm except for my toes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult to get those toes on. It's funny. I'm for the most part, I feel fairly comfortable out here now, but I would say my big toe on both feet and maybe my next toe next to it are cold. It's kind of what I noticed last night at the game too. By the end of the game, you're warm, even in a t-shirt when it's 40 something out, but your
Yeah.
toes are cold.
Yeah.
My big toe starts to get
I think 40 degrees is going to have to be my cutoff for porch workouts.
oh, yeah. Okay, good times. So the B series, we have two things now. One more is one of them is the 21s as well. This would be the seated Arnold press, which is a unlike what it says on the site, it's not a paused press anymore. I'll fix that. But I realize that was an error. So the Arnold press is a pair of dumbbells, ideally. Kettlebells could work, but we're going to have them facing you at the bottom as if you would just finish the curl. And then when you press, you rotate them forward, so the movement is this. Now on this one, the 21s are going to be this. Press to about the top of your head for 7. Press head to lock out for 7. And then of course, press the whole thing for 7. And if you need to, you can do one arm at a time, but of course that will double the work time. But if that works best, you totally can. And you can use a variety of implements. I mean, I guess a pair of plates could be pressed, like that can work, Nicole, kind of a double weighted press. Then the other thing though is that we're starting with is the Romanian rhythm squat, which you notice is sets of 50. Now, before you're terrified of having to think about doing 3 sets of 50 squats, maybe that's why there's such a light group today. The Romanian rhythm squat is a very, very partial range squat. It's a quad specific exercise. And so before I actually do it, I want to kind of show. So you know how we'll do the Patrick step downs or in warm-ups quite a bit, right? Where you reach forward, right? The torso stays completely vertical. My foot stays flat, but my knee comes forward, right? So the Romanian rhythm squat is essentially a 2-legged version of that. I'm not shooting my butt back. I'm not inclining my torso forward at all. It'd be basically the same as sliding your back down a wall. And the range is only to your, whatever, how far your knees can go, which is like this for most. Now, well, if you have a barbell, that would be on the back would be the preferred method, but you can totally hold dumbbells in the hands, or you could front rack dumbbells or bear hug a sandbag, or whatever you need. And then the other thing about this is that there's 2 styles of reps we're going to do. So this is the rep for the first 10. The next 10, you do the same thing, but you get a little rise up onto your toes. So it's be a little calf in there. And then the next 10, you go back to the original style. So this is the 30 rep series. Then you go back to another 10 here, and then you finally finish with 10 there. So a set of 50 doesn't really take that long. You'll want your feet, unlike a regular squat, don't set up as if we're going to do a regular full depth squat. This one, you really want your feet right underneath your hips and pointed pretty much straight forward. Maybe more how you might stand if we were deadlifting of all things. So a little bit of a hip tuck, lock that core in nice and tight. So 10 here, and then the teens are here, and the 20s are back to here, the 30s are up on the toes, and the 40s are back to here, and then you're done.
And Scott, on the first version of it, our heels are staying on the ground, correct?
Stay on the ground, yes. The other one, they lift. So it'll take a little bit of practice, but yeah, it's just that knee knee coming forward movement. And you'll feel that in the, you know, the VMO, the teardrop muscle around the knee.
So
I
are
would say on these, just be careful of watch your torso tension. Now, we're not going to be loading it so much here starting off, but it's easy to lose tension on the core. If you're holding a decent amount of weight, you can actually feel that, even though
what weight are we shooting for? Like, are we? should
this
we
could be
go
pretty
for
heavy.
Heavy. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, we're going through it 3 times, so make it nice and easy. Like for Ronnie, I would say just bust out a set, just do it with the empty bar and see how it feels. Nicole, just grab, I don't know, 20s or something thereabouts and give it a whirl. And then judge how it feels after that. In my experience, you don't really feel a real burn or intensity until you get more toward the end here. Ooh, little balance factor here. Then you can pop pretty much right into those Arnold presses. Probably don't need a ton of rest between sets here. Nice. Get a hang of that?
Yeah.
Everyone's opting for plates here, I see. Those rhythm squats Jumping athletes will typically do pretty heavy. I think a good standard that people shoot for is like double body weight on the barbell. Which
The Romanian ones.
sounds really impressive. And it is, but it's not like squatting, like full squats with that, you know, equivalent amount of weight, which would be much, 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 much harder. Runaway barbell. Rhythm squat round 3. Okay, let's see. Your bench will do incline, Nicole?
Yeah, I don't know what 2 of the things are on this list.
Yeah, I'll show you. I think you're ready. Okay. Part C, so the range stuff, we've got the reverse Nordics, which are this guy. Pointing the toes, nice straight line, shoulders, hips, knees. I'm going back as far as I can as one unit, coming up as one unit. It's not the kneeling arch, they're very similar, but I'm trying to stay in a straight line and just work with the deck you can work into and from and work your way down over the sets. That's the first one, but you've got the weighted incline or standing dislocate. So with the PVC pipe, if you have the option to throw a piece of change plate on there, and if you have an incline bench, that's the preferred option. So imagine I have my weight on there. I'm sitting here, I'm shrugging up, and I'm just doing the full weighted dislocate, but I'm using some weight. If you don't have an incline bench, no problem. You can still do this standing, or if you need to for ceiling height, tall kneeling, you still want maybe some weight on there. It's the same thing. Try to keep a full hand grip. So this is a common mistake, is that people miss this external rotation component by letting their fingers flop open here like this, as opposed to keeping a nice full hand grip on the stick. So 5 of those, nice and smooth. You can do 1 round, unload it, and then add some weight. On these incline dislocates, actually, I try to get people up to 10% of body weight for 5 reps. Then we've got the scap pull-up. If you have a pull-up bar or rings, these are just 5, but we're going to try and do 3 count at full stretch. 1, 2, 3. Pull the shoulders down and in. 1, 2, 3. So full range on the pull-up bar. If you don't have a pull-up bar, I would, in today's case, I would do exactly what you just saw me do. Grab your PVC pipe or broomstick, and you're going to shrug up as tall as possible. 1, 2, 3. Retract the shoulder blades down. 1, 2, 3. And trying to not extend to the spine. And then the final one is the wall bicep for 30 seconds. And all you'll need is some sort of a wall. And this one, we're going to try to get the fingers separated. Point the elbow pit straight forward. Oops. Sorry. Fingers here, elbow pit straight forward, arm straight, shoulder retracts. And then I'm creating a stretch by first working to get to kind of like 90 degrees with the wall. And then I'm going to slowly turn and face away as long as my shoulder blade isn't dumping forward like that to get the range of motion. So 30 seconds per side. Okay, 3 rounds of that if you have the time. 1 or 2 if not. 5 reverse Nordics. Take the first round easy, and then second time. I always find on this one in particular, the second round just unlocks so much more. So work with the range you can control. And make sure you don't go so far that you have to like break at the hips to get back up. We want to go down in a nice straight line, come up in a straight line rather than going down and then having to shoot the butt back to come out of it. Oh yeah, the weighted tube. It's awesome. It's a good way to do it. Nicole, you might experiment to see if it feels better to have your neck supported on those and like sitting lower on the bench.
Can I still go
But you'd have your feet on the ground in that case, probably.
on the ground?
Yeah, you'd be set up basically as if you were about to do a incline bench press.
I think if I go that far down. Huh? Okay, yeah, I thought maybe I wouldn't have clearance if I was.
Oh yeah, no, you're clear by a mile. Yeah, just, and that's, you'll hit a post at the bottom. So you don't quite get the range to bring it all the way to your back like you do standing. This one's more about training that, this rotational movement against some load. Did that feel a little better though? I typically like the head being supported slightly on this.
Yes.
Just keeps their neck a little more relaxed and out of it.
My incline is weird though, because the other part is also inclined. So it's like a little V shape when I have it like this.
Oh, I see. So it doesn't, it won't go flat when you make the,
No.
okay. I can see now. Yeah.
I've got to jump off, Scott. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Yeah. Have a
Bye.
good weekend. See you
Thank
next
you
week.
too.
Yeah. That's right. You have the day off, don't you? Or not off, but
Yeah, I have to go to a training, but it's from home. So yeah, I don't need to be.
don't need to bail ASAP.
No, I don't. And I guess you don't have to take your son to the bus.
I do not today. No, that is true.
Or all the way to school, as the case may be.
Oh, that's what it's been. Yeah, we haven't, outside of that first week and a half, I don't think we've had a bus. It's pretty much every day. However, I do have to cover one of my wife's clients here fairly shortly. Yeah, those are great. Is that sand fill pipe from the gym, or did you make that one? I forgot.
I made this one.
Okay. It looks exactly like the ones we have.
Okay, I'm gonna go inside and do my
Okay. Yeah, we might as well jump off for the last two. So well,
Yeah.
have a good weekend. And
Thank
I
you,
will
you
see
too.
next week. Yeah.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.